Hello, I'm Karen, and in today's video I'm actually going to be making a set of videos today. So the first part of the video is we're going to share how to make the body. Now the body, actually, excuse me, that's something for another video. The body is just this shape, okay? But from this shape we can make our snowman and we can make our bear. Okay, so that's what we're actually going to do, and I'm just going to also share different sizes, okay, because this one I've practiced and made some absolutely lovely patterns for you. So we've got baby bear, mummy bear and daddy bear. Daddy bear's a bit big to fit in the video, but the pattern is essentially the same all the way through. So for baby bear you use double knit yarn and a 4mm hook to put baby out of the way. For daddy bear you need to have super chunky and an 8mm hook. And for mummy bear, who I'm going to make today, she is made out of just ordinary chunky yarn, and she's made with a 6mm hook. Okay, I'm using Hayfield Bonus Chunky. It's 100 grams, and from this 100-gram ball you can actually make 2 of this size bear. So if you've got the bear in comparison, you can see it's almost as big as the actual ball of wool. And it does say on here it's for a 6mm hook, but it also does say underneath it for UK and a J10 for US, 6mm hook. That's what I'm using. Okay, so also what I'm going to do is, while I'm crocheting away, I'm going to tell you a gruesome story about my dentist trip, which is why I haven't actually been doing any videos. And I'm also going to have some more time off due to having some more surgery. So I'm going to explain to you what's happened while I'm actually crocheting away, because it's easier while we're doing the body. And when we do the arms and the legs, I'm going to be sharing with you some other bits of history which will eventually link us all back to our crochet. But for now, whoops, baby, sit there, baby. Oh, your mummy bear, sit there, thank you. Right, so I've got my 6mm hook. Remember, the pattern is the same whichever you're using. So and I'm using the chunky yarn today. Now I always, when I'm making toys, always leave myself a long tail at the beginning and at the end so that I've got plenty of yarn to sew in. So this is about 12 to 15 inches tail end. So we're going to begin with our slip knot. And we need to start off with, so round 1 is chain 2 and then work. Now the pattern all the way through is actually single crochet in the US, or it's a double crochet in the UK, and because I like to use the US terminology, I'm going to be saying single crochet all the way through. So into the first chain we're going to work 8 single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. You don't have to worry about pulling in the centerpiece for this one at this moment in time. And also we're going to be working in the round all the time, so there's no slip stitch to join or anything like that. Okay, so round 2 is work 2 single crochet in each stitch, so we have a total of 16 stitches. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, whoopsie daisy, and 16. The next round, so round 3, we're going to work single crochet, 2 single crochet, single, 2, all the way around. So we've got a total of 24 stitches, and I'm going to keep on, I always count as I go around, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now I have written in the pattern, you can use this tail end here, because in this next stitch we want to mark this next stitch. It just makes it easier so that we can just keep on working, because we're just going to just keep working in a round now for 5 rows or 5 rounds. And so I know that this stitch here looks higher, and when you do that obviously it's going to make it be the same, but this is going to be stitch number 1, which is going to be when you start counting of your rows. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, etc. And I'm not going to continue counting all the way around now, because now we're just going to go round and around in a circle for 5 rounds, and I'm going to tell you all about my trip to the dentist. So for those of you that do know, I went, for you, those of you that don't, well, I went and actually had my wisdom tooth removed several months ago. And when the dentist removed my wisdom tooth, he broke the tooth next door. Obviously, because I'd had a tooth removed, I was bleeding, and he did his best to repair that tooth, that one that was left behind. And then several months went by, and I started to get toothache in it, so I went back, and that was about 4.5 months ago. I went back and I had it refilled. But all the time he was trying to refill it, and he was drilling and picking and doing his stuff, it kept making me jump every so often, and he was getting cross with me, and I said, well, quite clearly I'm not completely numb and you're touching something, because it's just making me automatically flinch. And so he filled it back up and said, we'll see how you get on. I say, and then as the weeks went by, I started just to get silly little things, like I was having headaches, and just generally feeling a little bit grumpy, but it wasn't really, I thought, oh, maybe I'm coming down with a bit of a cold or something, and just like put it to one side and didn't think of anything of it, sorry. But then by the time, we'd had our 6-week holiday, so it was the last half term that the children had at school. That was when I started to get like these stabbing pains in my ear, and my tooth really started to hurt. So I went back to the dentist, and he told me that he thought that I'd got an abscess, and so he gave me some antibiotics and said, realistically that tooth's going to have to come out. But they tend not to take a tooth out while you've got an abscess. They like you to be treated first and then do it. So he gave me my treatment, and 4 days after I'd finished my double dose of antibiotics, I was in so much pain I was going to go to the hospital, but I took loads of painkillers and essentially probably did the wrong thing, but it knocked me out, made me go to sleep anyway, because I'd not been sleeping very well, because I'd been having hot flushes. I actually thought I was going through the menopause, to be fair. And during the last half term, I just literally went to the dent. So I got my antibiotics, and then it was, let's see, where are we now? We're in the 3rd week. I know at the very beginning of November anyway, was when I was out when the course of antibiotics had finished, and I was absolutely in so much pain. It was unbelievable. And I went to the dentist and sat and waited as an emergency patient. And the pains that I was suffering from, there was in my head, in my face, down my lip, underneath my tongue. I couldn't make it. Every single one of my teeth hurted in my mouth. I didn't know which one was poorly, or it was just awful. And so what he did is he x-rayed me, and then he dropped liquid nitrogen onto my teeth to find out which was the poorliest tooth. So when he did it on the first tooth, I was like, oh, well, yeah, that hurts. And he was like, okay then. He said, that one's fine. And I was thinking, well, how can that be fine when that really hurt? And then he got some tweezers and these little tiny, tiny cotton balls with this liquid nitrogen on. And I could hear him when he was dropping it onto my tooth, and it was going, tss. And he was like, can you feel that? And I was like, no. And after the fourth attempt and I couldn't feel anything, he was like, He went, let's just wait a minute. And then the pain, oh my goodness gracious me, honestly, I was shaking, I was crying, I wanted to be sick. I didn't know what to do with myself. And he was like, it'll ease in a minute, it's all right, it's all right. He says, we know it's definitely that tooth. Just check him around, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. He says, I'm going to numb you up. And he says, and then when I numb you up, he says, all the pain should go away, and we'll remove that tooth. And so I was all numbed up, the pain went away. And then, as they do before they remove a tooth, they stick a sharp, pointy tool down the side of your, if that's your tooth and you've got your gum at the side of it, they sort of stick it down the side of it there, and they check to see whether it hurts or not. And so I was like, no, yes, that hurts. So he injected me some more, right so deep into the back of my mouth, about probably where my wisdom tooth used to be, but also in that, you know, like you've got that joiny bit, so that's the bottom of your mouth and that's the top of your mouth, you've got this joiny bit of your skin at the back, right in there. Oh, and boy did that hurt, I tell you, I was so upset. But anyway, he then took his time, removed my tooth. I'm just going to count how many, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to be my last going round, because I wanted 5 rows up. Yeah, so he removed my tooth and put all the wadding stuff in as they do, and started to give me this lecture about, you know, you're not supposed to smoke, you're not supposed to drink, no sucking on straws, no spitting, blah blah blah. And I just went to him, I just said, don't go there, doc. You know, I've already been through this, I know what it's like. I've had my wisdom tooth out, and I've had all the teeth took out. And he was like, well, no, actually, he says, we've found out now that the cause of dry socket, which is supposed to be excruciatingly painful, is caused by stress. So I was told I'd got to have 3 to 5 days completely minimum stress-free. So I was like, okay. So I came back home and I put myself to bed. After about an hour, I woke up and I was in pain, but the anaesthetic hadn't wore off, which was really strange because my face was numb, but my mouth was really sore. So I had a peep, and then I saw from the back of my mouth all the way to my front teeth was a giant blister in between my gum and my cheek. I was like, oh, this is not good. So I took some painkillers and went back to sleep. During that second sleep, the giant blister burst. And I'm telling you now, it was the most disgusting thing ever, especially as it's in my mouth as well. And it really, really did make me feel very, very poorly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've done my 5 rows. This is just coming up to the end of the 5th row. So that stitch there, okay, I know that this looks higher, but that is the actual 5 rows. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll carry on with my story in a minute. We're going to just do some reductions, stuff the head, make the neck, and then we'll move on to the body. And then I'll carry on and tell you it gets... I'm sorry, it's not a good story. But anyway, so for this round we need to do a single crochet and single crochet 2 together, single crochet, single 2 together, all the way around. So, and I count as well, so we want to have a total of 16 at the end of this round. So that's 1, single crochet 2 together is 2, 1 on its own, 3, single crochet 2 together, 4, 1 on its own, 5, 6, 7, 2 together is 8, 1 on its own, 9, 2 together is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. And as you can see, it's made it so that if we follow up our stitch there, it's in the correct space. Now this next round is going to be, we're shrinking down a little bit more, so we're going to do single crochet 2 together all the way around till we have a total of 8. So that's 1, oops daisy, 2, 3, try and keep your stitches nice and tight, 4, 5, it will start to get a little bit fiddlier, I don't know if that's a word, more fiddly, this is 6, oh dear, 7 and 8. Okay, so we've got our 8 stitches left behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're just going to pull this end up, put your finger through it to keep it so that you don't lose that end. We're just going to get this tail end and pull this through to the bottom, because we just need to pull this end tight so our stuffing doesn't come out. So at this point here is where we actually stuff the head. You don't want to stuff it too fat so that it's stretching your stitches and it's bursting at the seams. You want this to be a soft squidgy bear, so it's a squidgy bear, and you want it to also be able to keep its shape. Okay, so we've got a nice, I know it's still a little bit thingy, we can put some more in, but it just makes it easier to stuff as you go along. And put my hook back through. For the next 2 rounds, we're just going to single crochet all the way around, so we have a total of 8. So what I do is I put my finger inside as I'm working to push the stuffing out of the way, and as we do our stitches we come up, just not go so you don't come through the opposite side by accident, because you want to keep it hollow. Okay, so this is number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. I said we need to go around twice, so we need to do it again. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. At this point now you will have this shape, which looks like when it's stuffed and it's nice and round, because you can stuff some more stuffing in it as we go along. But this to me reminded me, when I was doing it in the white, it looked like a Christmas bauble. Okay, so just saying. So for the next round we need to do an increase round again, so we need to do 2 stitches in each stitch till we have a total of 16 stitches. So that's 1 and 2. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 and 16. Now for the next round we just want to single crochet all the way around, just to, it makes our life easier to increase on the next round. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So you can see it's coming out now, yeah. And then for this round, this is another increase round. So we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2 all the way around till we have a total of 24. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, sorry, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now this next stitch needs to be marked to help us, so that because we're just going to go round and round again. So I'm going to use this long tail end again, and I'm going to put it through the second stitch. I'll pull it through there like that, and then the stitch to want marking, so I'm going through there, I'm going to pull it back. You can use one of those little plastic mark things if you want to, but I prefer not to because I just don't like them. Sorry, I'm coughing. Let me just have a quick sip of my drink. Okay, and now we're just going to work around and around. Careful that you don't pull these through as you're working these first 2 stitches. And these will have a total of 24, and we want to have we're round and round. So now we're going to do 7 rounds. Oh dear. Of single crochet if you're in the US, or double crochet if you're in the UK. So anyway, where had I got to with my dent? Oh yeah, so my my blister popped, and so I was feeling really sorry for myself. And I changed all my dressing and made sure that I kept it all nice and clean as possible. And then the next day I had to just go and have a quick checkup at the dentist. So I went back to the dentist, just went in, said, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm in no pain as such like that, I'm going home. So he was like, okie dokie. And And so I did. Like, I came back home and I went back to bed because some say it's because of my blood group, some say it's because of different things, but I always suffer from these blisters after having, should I say my words correctly, anaesthetic. I do. I seem to suffer from it, so it's just, and I'm used to it, the dentist used to it, so we know that this is going to happen. So over the next few days, all of the inside of the gum area, right the way from the back of my mouth all the way to my front teeth, just came up in loads and loads and loads of small blisters that seemed to like all join together. And then, as it always happens, over the next week or so, they popped and all my skin fell off on the inside of my mouth. So I couldn't eat hardly anything. It was awful. Like anything, nothing hot, nothing cold. It was just tepid. And so what I did is I made myself some. It's a Chinese herbal medicine, which is to cleanse your insides. Because I was quite bothered that I was actually, even though I didn't want to, I was actually swallowing all this horrible stuff which was coming out of the boil. You know, it was just, you try not to, but then there's just certain times when you've swallowed and you're like, oh my God, I've just swallowed some more of that. So because I was swallowing that, that was making me feel sick. It gave me the runs. And so I spent 2 weeks absolutely feeling sorry for myself beyond belief. So that's how I ended up making the bear, because I was like, I'm feeling sorry for myself, and I couldn't count properly. I was tired and grumpy. I was hungry, and so I've ended up having, like, do you know those sort of protein drinks that are meant for you to have with skimmed milk or with whatever, with water, and to diet with? I bought some of those, used full fat milk, just so that I can get my vitamins in me and get some goodness in me. And also, because I've actually had a back tooth removed, I've had to learn how to speak again, because when you on that side now, where I've had that tooth removed, I actually have no teeth at the bottom anymore now. So when I wanted to say things like place, it was going and it wouldn't work properly, and so I had to learn how to hold my tongue in a different position so that I could speak. So so last week I tried to make some videos, and they're okay. I might publish them, I might not, I'm not sure, but I still think essentially I sound quite sad. And I think the sadness thing is because all the time that I've been having the work done on the left hand side of my mouth, a tooth that I had originally on the right hand side of my mouth at the back, I had a tooth filled years and years and years ago, and then about 8 years ago they had to change all the fillings in my teeth because apparently the fillings I had was toxic or something. So that particular filling I had replaced about 8 years ago, and while I've been having this treatment on the left hand side of my mouth, this filling decided that it was not going to survive any longer, and it started to fall out and caused a hole in my tooth. So when I spoke to the dentist, because obviously this has been going off while I've been having this other treatment done, and I just said to him, I said, look, I'm not prepared to keep going through all of this and having my teeth repaired, and then you just take them out anyway. So I said to him, as soon as I'm feeling well enough, I'm going to phone you up and I want you to take that tooth out because I've had enough. I'm sick of it. So he said, okay. So I'm actually going to go and have the other tooth on the other side removed on Wednesday this week, even though that actually where I've had the other one done on the left hand side, it hasn't healed up properly. but it's healed up enough that I can cope with eating things like Weetabix. So I just wanted to have it all done. Do you know, like, so that I can actually spend a nice time with my kids at Christmas, because I've actually been as miserable as anything, and making the bears, that's what I've been. I've been like a bear with a sore head. I've been so grumpy and snapping at everybody, and luckily for me, everybody's been sympathetic and understanding. They're going, it's okay, it's all right, you know, and I've been apologising for my grumpiness, but it just meant that I just couldn't cope with doing anything normal. And I was just, I say, I've spent 2 whole weeks in bed, because say when you're not eating very well, 1 2 3 4, this is my 5th row. When you're not eating very well, then you get really miserable. And I keep suffering from having the most awful tummy rumbles that they sound like I'm absolutely starving to death, and I'm not, because I'm eating lots of soft things like soups and mashed potato, and I'm having the vitamin drink so that I'm getting all my vitamins and nourishment in me. So I haven't lost weight, so I can't be I can't be doing too bad. So when I have this next tooth removed, because it's at the back, and I'd also, because I had my wisdom teeth taken out, all my other ones was taken out years ago, so I have no wisdom tooth there, and then that'll be the tooth next door that'll be being removed, and the one along after that has already gone anyway. So I put it all down to the way I was treated when I was a child from having braces, because all the teeth where they had the braces on when I was young, I've had them all removed now at the back. So yes, that's my gruesome story. And I know that for the next, once I've had this tooth out, I know I'm going to go through all the blistering and suffering and everything again. But she says, touch wood, my table's wood underneath. 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, then after that I should be okay. So what I've decided to do, because I really wanted to write up my history work, and I wanted to write a book and whatnot, I've decided that I'm going to write my history snippets, because I'll do them in little sections. I'm going to write them in a blog, and then when all my information is all together, and then we can pick out all of the best bits that I want to be able to put together and put it in a book. And I just thought that at least that way you can see as I go along, rather than waiting for me to actually publish a book, which to me feels like it's going to take forever. Being able to do it as a blog seemed just that it would be easy, and it just made better sense for me. And then that way, I can just get along with what I'm trying to do, and because my history, just history in general, to me is really important. And from my new things that I've been discovering, which I'm going to be sharing with you when I do when I show you how to make the arms and legs, and I'm going to explain to you some lovely information about our Stone Age ancestors, because I think when we was at school, we weren't, well, my age group anyway, 1 2 3 4 5 6, this is going to be my 7th row now. Okay, when I was at school, I don't remember being told properly all about our Stone Age man, except they went round like going ugh ugh ugh, and basically was a bit thick. Well, my new history evidence proves that they were smart, and a lot smarter than they're being given credit for. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the video so that you can, obviously, that you can do your hands and feet, arms and legs, sorry, on your bear. But I'm actually going to publish it twice so that I can actually get the historians to come and listen to me, because I do think I've been saying it before, I do think that people need to look at things slightly differently, because lots of people seem to specialise in one particular subject. And me, as being me, I've actually studied all sorts to do with history over the years. So I've actually got quite a lot of historical knowledge inside my head. And I was just doing some checking up and some clarifications on dates and things like this. And I say the information I came across made me realise that what we've been told is not true. Right, okay, so I'm going to be sharing that in the next, no, it won't be the next video, because the next video is actually going to be how to do the face and the ears. So it'll be the one after that. But say I'm going to publish it twice, just so that the historians can have a look at it. Okay, now we're at this stage. This is the stage where we need to start reducing to be able to close up the body for our, I'm going to say I'm making a bear, but as it is, you'll be able to make a snowman if you've done it in white. So same principle again, we're going to do one single crochet and then single crochet 2 together until we have a total of 16. So I've done one single crochet, 2 together is 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 together is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. Okay, now this time I'm just going to, you don't need to have that there anymore. I'm going to pull this up now on row 16, because it's so much easier, because we want to poke into the neck just to get that bit of stuffing that goes down into the neck, because I want, if you don't, so this is going to see that I've still got room in the head, I can feel that it's actually going into the head. I want to make sure the neck area is stuffed, otherwise his head it's just far too floppy. So get my stuffing, put that back on there so I don't lose it, and stuff it on in. Alright, so let's just check that the neck's nice, and I want the head to be, I don't want it to be overly stiff. I mean, you can make it so it's quite a stiff bear, but I want it to be soft and squidgy, because it's, I don't know, that's just what I like, and I thought it was nice for children. But a bear, honestly, you can give bears away for Christmas presents, birthday presents, anniversaries. Okay, so there we go, that's our stuffing in it. I'm just going to put that back onto there. Now what we're going to do is, you know when I said before on the other one, we need to push the stuffing out of the way, and we single crochet 2 together till we've got 8 stitches. So it's the same as that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then slip stitch into the next one to finish. And remember what I said about cutting this, it's 12 to 15 inch long tail end. this, because it really helps to make sure, if especially when you're making these toys for children, you want it to be super safe. So I'm getting my wide-eyed darning needle. Yes, because this darning needle is very important, and this is I'm going to be discussing this. Right, so what we're going to do now is to make so you know where you are. If you wrap this around your finger first before you do anything, then you want to, if you look at your work, you want to go in one hole and out of the other. Can we see that? There. Pull that through, keeping hold of this on your finger. In one hole, out of the other. It's just a weaving motion of in and out. Yeah? And then we're coming back, so that's the beginning bit where we've push the stuffing in. If this is the last chance, if you want to put any more stuffing in, you can, but if not, pull it together and close up the end. Okay, and then just to make sure we're keeping it nice and secure, we're just going to come through with a couple of stitches just to make sure that this bottom is not going to come undone. Okay, and then because I don't want, I know I'm overly fussy about losing things and little children and whatnot, and eating stuff. So my tail end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up through the body, come up through sections where you would actually, if you was crocheting, you'd crochet through it. So you try not to split your yarn, so you're just coming up through what would be a normal stitch area. Now you don't need to pull this tight as you're going along, you're just literally threading it through. And we're going to go back into the body, go in the same space that you've worked, that you came out, all the way through, so that you're not pulling any of your stitches tight. So that's back into that hole there, back up through the other side of the neck, and then up through here into the head. I say, some people will say, oh, she goes over the top, this one, but this is going to last for years and years and years. This is not going to come undone, and this is one of those things that you could, you know, it's like you could give it to a child when they're a baby, and they can grow up and have this still when they're a teenager. Now what I want to do is the end, I'm tying a knot. I'm not going to pull it super tight, but I'm just going to show you, if you pull the knot so that you've just, it's a knot right at the very top of that hole. Okay, this is the one that we've was already there, and then we're just going to thread that back through there, and as you pull through, you just pull that knot inside the head and then snip that bit off there. And as we keep adding each section, we'll keep doing that, and then at the very end we'll pull this tight and make sure that all those little knots and everything is inside. Okay, so that's the end of making the body. So if you've done yours in white, all you're going to have to do next is just sew on. I've just used some black yarn just to make it look like pieces of coal. My daughter says, which is, where's the carrot for its nose? It's like the guinea pig ate it. So I've just done a piece of coal. We used to do coal when we was kids. We always had a guinea pig, so we never had a carrot. I'm also going to be sharing with you how to make the hat, and we'll do Miss Lambert on there as part of our history. Okay, so so you've got to look out now. So the actual hat will fit your bear as well as your snowman. Okay, so and I'll also share how to make the nappy. So thank you for watching. I know this was a particularly long video, really, just to make the body, but you know I like to do it in real time, so you actually know, you've got a rough idea of how long it's going to take. It is actually technically a little bit quicker to do it in the double knit yarn and your smaller hook, but you know, roughly about the same sort of time. So thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for putting up with me and all my horrible dental treatment, and so I'm going to be having some more, so I'm going to have to take some more time off. So I just wanted to get these bears and let you know that I'm doing a blog. Oh, my blog is going to be on blogger.com, so you'll just look for Karen Bestwick and then blogger.com, and I'll put a link anyway in the videos, and then I'll write up the history in there, and so that I start to build up my book. Okay, so thanks again, bye for now.